Look, I know you're about to say, and yes, I see it too, I did not iron this t-shirt, so it's a little bit wrinkly. Today we're talking about the TOA reset that happened recently in Wuthering Waves, and this is happening about 5-10 minutes after my big ass crash out. I say crash out, hi, we're doing this live, how you doing? But it's not about this. So I took some notes for previous night or day or so I did this. And look, HP inflation. It fucking sucks, okay? Now you're probably thinking, oh, blah blah blah, why in a blah 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 skill issue. Clearly this video is not for you. Thanks for checking it out, thanks for stopping by. I don't care about your opinions. You're just going to disagree with anything that I say no matter what, so clearly we're not going to get along. But if you want to have a nice open discussion where we can talk about this, and we can go back and forth for a nice discussion about what people can like and how to manage it and what can be fixed, blah blah blah. But hey, thanks for stopping by, I appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever, blah blah blah. So I want to talk about Nameless Explorer, very briefly. In fact, no, let me bring up the notes first, But HP inflation, it's bad. And by bad, I mean, look, we've already got this here, you know, middle tower, which is Hazard Tower. So floor 1 HP went from 4.5 million to 5.5 million. Floor 2, HP stayed the same. That's fine, whatever. Floor 2 has way more enemies in the first place. So this is understandable, okay? If we go back here, this is understandable. Floor 1 is Lampy. That's one boss. Makes sense. This is 3 enemies. Actually, no, I believe it's 2 enemies here, 2 enemies here, and then that's so it's 5. So it makes sense that it stayed the same. Then floor 3 HP went from 6.7 million to 7.7 million. Okay, I would argue this is the worst floor. And floor 4 HP went from 8.7 million to 10 million. Okay, so know your skill issue is not that bad, it's the HP inflation. I have this thing where I often say for Wuthering Waves, if Cartophia's team can't clear, and before you ask, yes, I do have signatures for all of them. Let me just go and show you there. Oh, that's this. There's the build, I guess. Where was Chiacona? Yeah, Chiacona here, signature, blah blah blah. Cartophia obviously got this signature because it's the only HP scale weapon, blah blah blah. If this team can clear, I think it's fine. The second this team starts to struggle, and I'm predicting it's going to start to struggle soon because I'm at a point where I'm thinking, I kind of want to invest in Cartophia. I want to kind of get S3. Maybe that's a wrong idea, I don't know. But no, I think the team is fine, the skill is fine. In fact, even this, and more on Augusta in a moment, she is a big point I want to bring up. So the boss choices and roster, and you're going to see this here as well. Now, I'm going to show parts of the crash out I had, but long story short, the difference between Lampy and Nameless Explorer is that when Lampy moves to do a move, or when Lampy moves in the boss arena, he moves because he's about to do an attack, and then follow through with it. When Nameless Explorer moves, he moves just for the fucking sake of it. He moves because, oh yeah, I have to. I don't think that's what it feels like. It just feels like I move because fuck you. Whereas Lampy, better yet, let me try and compare, because I made the comparison with False Sovereign before. I would rather face False Sovereign again than Nameless Explorer, and that is because they both have the same core thing. And it's the same with any boss, but let's just take those two. Now, they both want you to get to them, okay? They both want you to arrive at the boss's destination. That's where the boss is. Now, the way False Sovereign does it is he throws out a lot of attacks towards you and moves around in like a nice, contained space. But at least he's still there, and he's throwing attacks. You have to, you know, get to that boss. You have to get to the False Sovereign. Once you do, you're in. Once you get to the Nameless Explorer, he's already moved. So you go and chase him, he's already moved again, and before you know it, the only time you really caught up to him is because you're at the edge of the arena. And you're going to see here, when I was at the edge of the arena, I finally beat him because he can't move anywhere. He's fucked. And then Fleur de Lis spawns in the middle of the tower, so you have to go waste precious seconds. And that's another thing, just, it's 5 seconds, okay? It would be even better. It would be even better if he just despawned. If he just desynced, he wasn't in the frame. Well, you couldn't attack him when he does the move. No, it's right. He does the move and then fucks off on the other side. At least get some invulnerability, invisibility, whatever the fuck. At least have the courtesy of just going, okay, you can't interrupt me during this attack because I don't exist at that moment in time. At that exact moment the attack lands off, you can't get me. And respawn in the same place rather than I've launched the attack and I'm on the other side of the map. What is it? It's fucking Tower Diversity, not Whimpering Wastes. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Yo, Denzel, how you doing? That's what damn me. It's not skill issue, HP issue, it's not the fault of the players. The skill didn't drop all of a sudden. Exactly, I'm doing all the right rotations. I've got the same team. In fact, I've improved my Augusta. If we go back, actually, I'm going to go back. My Augusta was very bad beforehand. Right? By all means, I was getting 2 stars. I went back, I tweaked some of the echoes, 3-starred it, first turn like that. Still a bit of a challenge, mind you, because a lot of HP, and we will get into this, by the way. We will get into this. Just, why? And it's quite obvious, well, this is towards the Cyberpunk, right? When they leave, like Lucy and Rebecca are not that good of units in the first place, which, by the way, I'm thankful they're not that good. But for some reason, they decided, okay, we're really going to shield. Cool, we want you to get the collab characters. Newsflash, people are going to get it anyway. It's a Cyberpunk collab. You've been hyping it up for a year. People were going to do it anyway. Okay? Don't care about how you handled it or whatever. You did it. And then you get to this. And you got Hyuki, which is, by the way, one of my favourite characters. Lucilla, which I've not got. I most likely won't get because she's good for, like, this. Maybe. I'd much rather use Chewing and other things. Don't get me started on floor 3. Don't get me started on floor 3. This is a fucking nightmare. But just swap the boss orders around. For the love of God, Fleur de Lis is so much fun. I would rather take False Sovereign than Nameless Explorer. I am begging... This is how bad it is. I'm begging to get Nameless Explorer taken off, False Sovereign back in. I would take Thundering Mephis, False Sovereign, over just him by himself. Any day of the week. Any day of the week. Exactly, the boss fights being ridiculous for shilling. And here's the thing as well. You just get told skill issue. It's not a skill issue. If it's a skill issue, why did Cartafia team clear this floor? I've cleared this floor with Cartafia. Okay? I've not even attempted Cartafia because, for obvious reasons, aero resistant. So why is this different? Yes, we're crashing out a little bit, and yes, it is fully fucking deserved. What are Kuro Games doing? Because they're going to try and sell you the new characters afterwards. In fact, Alan, you wanted to use Cartafia. Oh, not Cartafia. You wanted to use Carlotta, right? Let's go and use Carlotta. Okay, where is she? Replace that. And in fact, let me just show you my Carlotta real quick. She is 77, okay? 271. This is all this there. Resonance Liberation damage, 17. Glacial damage, blah, 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 blah. All pretty good. I got the signature and everything. In fact, one more sec. Yeah, fully leveled. Except the intro skill, but you don't really need the intro skill, okay? So there it is. Let's go try Carlotta, and we're going to see the difference. We're going to go see the difference right now, live, me and you together. Okay? So... And just like this, I'm ready to hop into Lene. And trust me, I've done this before. You would not hit. The attacks would not connect. They would not land. You have to wait those seconds. In a time-gated mode as well, to get max stars. So, Alan, I've just pressed the skill button there to freeze the Explorer, right? I just pressed the button that says, okay, freeze the boss. Guess what the boss did? Was not froze, moved away. This is exactly the shit I'm talking about. It's exactly the shit I'm talking about. The Nameless Explorer is just a piss poor designed boss. Arguably the worst boss in the game. I'm not saying that lightly. False Sovereign exists, but I'd rather take False Sovereign. At least, once again, he has a lot of moves. He's in one place. The struggle with False Sovereign is, okay, I have to find a way to get to the False Sovereign. In that one place, and his barrage of moves, okay? With Nameless Explorer, is okay, I have to get to Nameless Explorer. The problem is, he's fucked off. I've got to the place Nameless Explorer is. He's fucked off again. Okay, I've finally beaten Nameless Explorer on the edge of a map. Guess where Cat Fleur-de-Lis is going to spawn? In the middle of the map. Which you saw in the run previously. I had to waste 5 seconds, well, roughly 5 seconds, getting back in to position. And that cost me. So we got this here. And in fact, a bit more here, you can really see what's happened, like what HP has gone up where. And it's fucking atrocious. Okay, it's bad. It's also a case of why we having Wuthering Waves to one standard and then say Hoyoverse to another. We should keep everybody, all these companies, all these games, to the same standard of you've increased the HP inflation for fuck knows why reason. Stop. Don't do it. It's bad. Nobody enjoys that shit. You get complaints every single time. You get the dick riders every single time going, actually, it's fine. It's not fine. Now. Floor 3 is a mess. The reindeer are coded like they're in We Were. Now, if you don't know what Wuthering Waves is, that's the other endgame mode, and that essentially is they're just mindless swarms, and you need big AoE. Think Fullover, think, I don't know, Imuth, who are really good at crowd control and hitting multiple targets. Okay, that's where it's going to follow there. So they're coded in We Were because they just move. And they keep moving, and it's like, okay, you need to group them together. If you don't have a grouper, you kind of fucked. Or a way to stop them in the tracks. Then HP inflation and mob enemies, which you can clearly see here. And in fact, in case you don't believe me, I was going to say let's zoom in, but I fucked it up. In fact, if you don't believe me, let's just zoom in here. You can clearly see the HP has moved up. Okay, it is right there. It is not an opinion, it is factual evidence right here. The HP has gone up and it's been inflated. It's right there. What more do I have to say? I'm focusing too much on it. Let's move on. And the last one I got here is it just takes too long to get to the Berengal. And I'm going to expand on this. By that, I mean you have to go through all of these. And by the time you get to Berengal, it's been, what, a minute and a half. And if you care, and I've got it written down here, if you care about clearing, that's totally fine, you can do it. But a lot of people want the max rewards. And to get the max rewards, you have to get 3 stars on all of them. And it competes for top clear times, post-shipment rewards there, but now I've added it there. It just takes way too long to get there, okay? And the way you fix this is, believe it or not, spending money. Okay? Oh my god, who could have seen this coming? They want you to spend money to improve the characters. Wow. I actually feel disincentivized to spend money to improve characters, because you're going to have to keep doing that, which is the business model. That's how they get you. That's what they want first and foremost. Remember, these companies are not your friends. They want to ring you for every cent you've got, or whatever your currency is. They want to get every single thing about you. It's why the collab happened. And it's as bad as it is when the spending-wise. Anyway, this is about this. But I like the other floors, I guess. And I put I guess because I like the other floors for one simple reason. They aren't floors 3 and 4, which is probably why you've guessed here. Why I've not tried Fleur-de-Lis on 3 and 4? Well, they are arrow resistant. There would be no point. Of course it would suck. Put arrow resistant here. Now, let's talk about Augusta. Okay, let's talk about Augusta. Finally, you've seen here, they're kind of moving away from Imuth. Now, I've tried Luke on these floors. Luke is also pretty fucking good. But they're trying to say, hey, don't use Hayuki here. And it's Spectro here because, hey, guess what? Lucy's Spectro. Yay. Now, I believe they've not included... In fact, let's go get the evidence. You're going to notice a pattern here, okay? This is the current one here. You can see here, heavy attack. So, finally, Augusta is being shielded. Finally, it's great. Augusta is finally playable again. Let's check the last time she was really playable. Well, you got the last TOA. I think this is the last TOA. I'm not entirely sure. Someone please correct me. It says season 36, but not too sure. But yeah, no Electro. This was season 35. Electro Res. So you couldn't use Augusta. In fact, you couldn't use Ayuno either. I mean, you could, but it's going to be even more of a struggle. On top of the HP that's being inflated every so much. So you got season 34. Electro Res. Great, this was the big Imuth shill. Okay, and it happened for quite a while. Season 33. Oh, look at that. Electro Res. Cool. Season 32. Oh, Electro Res. Cool. Oh, look at that. Electro Res. Cool. Season 30 was the last time Augusta was really able to be played. And now they're kind of shilling her here. And honestly, this is just because Lucy is heavy attack damage. And Rebecca. It's that. It's not for Augusta. Augusta just benefited from the collab. So, what's the point I'm trying to make here? We said 44% HP inflation. Yeah, that happened. You can check out I know, some Wuthering Waves glaze, I don't know. But yeah, people were right. Why are you acting like you're using a very good team that benefits like you're not? Yeah, it's just... things like this that just... Look, there's clearly a problem. Don't fucking bury your head in the sand. Because people did that with Genshin Impact. Okay, I'm not comparing the two, this is just an example. Okay, people did it with Genshin Impact, I was like, no, it's fine. And then that shit went so far out of whack eventually. And it keeps happening with every other game. It's gonna happen with, say, Arknights Enfield if it lasts that long. It would have happened with, I don't know, Black Beacon, any single gacha game like this. That's why it's so important to just be aware of the problem and call it out. Now sure, because we've been saying this from the get-go, right? We've been saying this, it's like, oh, well, I guess this isn't that bad. Well, I say we. I'm always advocating for, look, tone down the HP inflation. You especially use ZZZ. Stop. I've always been saying, lower the HP inflation or the rate it's going up. Because HP inflation has to happen. It's how things work. But we're inflating the HP before we're buffing older characters, which they've said they do. End State Matrix, you know, we have some buffs there, but slow the fuck down. Okay? Because there's no point giving all these bosses massive amounts of HP and then buffing older characters, and the second they're buffed, you buff the HP even more because they got buffed. Just fucking stop. Slow down, Koro. Okay? Just seriously, slow the fuck down. And when the next survey comes out, I'm going to write down there, chill out the HP inflation. We're in a good spot right now. I say we're in a good spot right now. We were in a good spot. But by the time the survey comes out, they're going to inflate it again by the next reset. It is a problem, and I'm sick of people just going, la 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 la, I can't hear you, la 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 la, HP inflation, I can still clear, blah 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 blah. Yo, you're S3, fuck off. I'm not trying to be personal about it, I'm just expressing frustration. I'm just saying fuck about the situation, not you. You're fine, okay? So yeah, if you agree with this, if you disagree with this, sure, let me know. But let me know if you want a nice discussion about this. And don't just be like, nah, Kuro, fine. You do manga for nothing, skill issue, blah, blah, blah. Clearly, you're not the kind of person who's open to a conversation or wants the conversation. You just want to keep dick riding your favorite company. That's totally fine. Hey, you do you, boo. You do you, little pup. But, yeah. That's the end of the video. Just basically stop with the HP inflation. Seriously, if they stopped it right now, at this very moment, I think the HP they have right now could be good and sustainable for the future. For like 4, 5, even 6 patches. It could be good. It's already a struggle. Let's just slow down. Anyway, that's all I've got. Let me know your thoughts. Like I've said, blah blah blah, subscribe, and I guess I'll catch you in the next one when it's not roasting in the UK. I don't know, this is a fucking shit intro. Bye.